Did you know a man made his entire family disappear and vanished without a trace? In early 2011, Xavier Dupont de Ligonnès told everyone his family was moving to Australia for his new job. Neighbors saw them packing. Everything seemed normal for this wealthy French family. But weeks earlier, Xavier had been buying lime and cement in bulk. He quietly emptied all their bank accounts, over 200,000 euros. Then strange sounds came from their house at night, and the smell of lime filled the air. When police finally checked, they found no plane tickets were ever booked. Under the terrace, they discovered his wife and 4 children, buried and shot execution style. Xavier had vanished completely. Over a decade later, he remains one of Europe's most wanted fugitives, a father who planned the perfect family murder. Insurance fraud on the high seas can involve elaborate schemes worth hundreds of millions. In sophisticated maritime fraud cases, wealthy yacht owners have staged disappearances to collect massive payouts. These operations typically begin with mysterious midnight departures from luxury ports. Criminals plant false evidence, make fake distress calls, and forge official documents. They establish new identities in countries without extradition treaties. Offshore accounts are used to hide stolen insurance money. International investigators track financial trails across multiple jurisdictions. Modern forensic techniques can expose even the most careful deceptions. Satellite tracking, digital forensics, and banking records leave traces. When arrests happen, they're often dramatic affairs at international airports. The sophistication of these schemes requires months of planning, but law enforcement agencies have adapted their techniques accordingly. Maritime insurance fraud remains one of the most complex white-collar crimes. Justice eventually catches up with even the most elaborate deceptions.
Did you know the biggest corporate fraud in history wiped out $74 billion and 20,000 jobs in a single day? In 2001, energy giant Enron collapsed overnight, taking with it $2 billion in employee pensions. But this wasn't just bad business, it was the most elaborate financial crime ever executed. Executives created fake partnerships to hide massive debt from investors and regulators. They manipulated accounting rules, making worthless trades appear profitable on paper. While encouraging employees to invest their retirement savings in company stock, top executives secretly sold their own shares. The web of corruption ran deep. Arthur Andersen, their accounting firm, shredded evidence by the truckload. Offshore shell companies laundered money through the Cayman Islands and beyond. When congressional hearings began, executives pleaded the Fifth Amendment while retirees testified about losing everything. CEO Kenneth Lay and CFO Jeffrey Skilling were sentenced to decades in prison. The scandal forced Congress to pass the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, forever changing how corporations report their finances. One company's greed reshaped corporate accountability worldwide. $6 million stolen in just 64 minutes. December 11, 1978, JFK Airport. The Lucchese crime family had been planning this for months, waiting for the perfect moment. Their inside man was a Lufthansa cargo employee drowning in gambling debt, desperate enough to betray his own company. He provided the crew with security codes, shift schedules, and the exact location of the cash vault. At 3 in the morning, 6 masked gunmen walked through multiple security checkpoints like they owned the place. They knew every camera angle, every guard rotation, and every possible escape route. The heist itself was flawless. No alarms, no violence, no witnesses left behind. But then came the bloodbath. One by one, nearly every crew member was murdered to eliminate loose ends. The perfect crime became a killing spree that lasted for years. The case would eventually inspire Goodfellas and change how prosecutors approached organized crime forever. Sometimes the real horror begins after the money is gone.
Did you know the world's most sophisticated vault was cracked by a man with a can of hairspray? In 2001, Leonardo Notarbartolo walked into Antwerp's Diamond Center posing as a legitimate gem merchant. For 2 years, he studied every inch of the underground vault while planning the perfect heist. The target was protected by 10 layers of security, including infrared sensors, magnetic fields, and seismic detectors that could feel footsteps. On Valentine's Day weekend 2003, his team struck. They sprayed hairspray to blind the sensors, cameras and used aluminum-coated panels to fool heat detectors. One by one, every high-tech barrier fell to simple tricks and patient planning. By Monday morning, they had vanished with over $100 million in diamonds. The crime seemed flawless until investigators found something unexpected. A half-eaten sandwich left behind contained Notarbartolo's DNA. That single bite unraveled the entire operation and led to his arrest. The twist? Despite solving the case, police never recovered 90% of the stolen gems. They remain missing to this day.
Did you know the second largest cash heist in U.S. history was pulled off by a bored, armored car guard who made one fatal mistake? On October 4, 1997, David Gaunt was alone in the Loomis Fargo vault in Charlotte with $17 million in cash. Instead of finishing his shift, he began loading stacks of bills into a company van. He carefully disabled security cameras one by one, thinking he was covering his tracks perfectly. But this wasn't a spur-of-the-moment crime. Gaunt had been planning this for months with a group of accomplices. The plan was simple: steal the money, flee to Mexico, and lay low until the heat died down. Within hours, Gaunt was on a plane to Cancun with a fake passport and $50,000. Meanwhile, his partners back home started spending like lottery winners: new cars, expensive jewelry, lavish parties. The FBI noticed immediately. 3 weeks later, agents tracked Gaunt to a beachside resort where he was living like a king. Greed turned the perfect inside job into amateur hour, inspiring the comedy movie Masterminds.